This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Isaiah Rodgers. Is it time to start him, man? Let's stop playing games. It's time to start Isaiah Rodgers. Also, we got to talk about Nakobe Dean playing out of his mind. Lastly, I might got to admit something, but Nolan Smith might be him. But let's get straight into it. I know I wanted to make this video talking about the defense, and I did that purposely because the offense, what can I say? They've been phenomenal. But I wanted to show the defense some love this game. And before we get into the topics, I mean, I think the NFC East, I know Washington is number one right now, but I think the NFC East is ours. And it's time to start looking at teams outside of the NFC East because I think we're better than Washington. Actually, I know we're better than Washington. But the only team I look at like, wow, that's playing at another level in the NFC is the Lions. I mean, the Lions are playing at an extremely high level, and it can't be ignored. Now, of course, there's other good teams like you got Green Bay. I think Atlanta is playing really well, but I think those teams that we can beat if we, match up with them. I mean, Commanders, they're winning games. I say they beat up on easier teams, but when they play teams that, that somewhat got a pulse, they tend to struggle. We both played the Bengals. They beat them like 38-33, and we handled the Bengals. But when they play like teams like the Cardinals and stuff like that, they do what they're supposed to do. But when the team has a pulse, I haven't seen the Commanders be dominant. I'm just saying, but I guess we will be their real test. I think Bears was a really good test for them, but Caleb Williams just wasn't that great. But back to the Eagles, man. I think the Eagles can still, take the NFC, but it's just the Lions. The Lions is in our way. Just the NFC in general, and the NFC East Commanders are in our way because of their schedule. They only can play who's on their schedule, and they got easier teams. But the thing is, we can meet up with the Commanders and make a difference. So I'm not really counting on these other teams. Now, if these other teams beat the Commanders, that's great, but we played them twice. We can handle our own food. But let's get into these topics, man. Isaiah Rodgers, been a big fan of his since what? Summertime, since we signed him per se. I'm like, yo, Isaiah Rodgers, man, he coming to Philadelphia, he can make a difference in his secondary. A lot of y'all say I was glazing or oh, is he the next coming of Deion Sanders, this and that? Like, you know how you guys do obliviate stuff and take it overboard. I'm like, no, he can be like a top corner on our team. Now we end up drafting Quinyon Mitchell, then you also get Cooper DeJean. Like we start adding to the secondary. But I'm saying like Isaiah Rodgers is still in that top three. He gotta find a way on the field. And let's be honest about Slay. Slay's having a good year, but his health is a question. If it's not this, it's that. If it's not this, it's that. It's the growing. I think he had like some type of foot injury. I could be wrong. And I know he had a knee injury. So he's been hurt. We only, 7 weeks in, and we don't have no more buys. So I'm getting concerned about Slay health, and he's 33 years old. And again, against the Bengals, he made some plays, and there were some plays he got burnt. But Isaiah Rodgers, man, he's a different guy. Like I think his PFF score, finally they gave him a favorable score. It's like in the high 80s, 90s. Actually, to be exact, it was 89.8. So it was really close to a 90. So that lets you know like Isaiah Rodgers is starting to get recognized. And it's just so hard for me to see them bench a captain. But Isaiah Rodgers, man, he deserves to be on the field and he deserves to be an outside corner. Now, the play where he made the pass deflection to CJ Gardner Johnson, to me, Joe Burrow did what he was supposed to do. But what Joe Burrow don't know, Isaiah Rodgers is not your typical backup corner. So he tested the quote unquote backup corner and he got what he paid for. Isaiah Rodgers made a great play and CJ Gardner Johnson ended up catching it. And what I like about that play, a little bit more than interception, would sound crazy, is that they played together and they was in the same wavelength. I like when teammates play together, like the Zach Bond and the Nakobe Dean play, and Isaiah Rodgers and the CJ Gardner Johnson play. And Isaiah Rodgers actually talked about it. And let's play this clip.
I tried to one-handed until I realized I couldn't. Then I was like, all right, cool. How did you know he was there? I trust him. You know, it's one of our plays that he's supposed to get over top, and he was there.
So you didn't see him, you knew he came.
I seen him once I turned back into the vision. I seen him when I crossed my eyes. When I seen him, so I'm like, cool. I just didn't know he was right there, that close. I just hoped that he was gonna make that play. And he did.
It's a hell of a play by Zay. Hell of a play by Zay. To be honest with you, it was a great receiver, great matchup. So I just had faith in my guy. I just knew if he wasn't gonna get it, nobody was gonna get it.
From your perspective, why?
You see what I mean? I end up playing both clips of CJ Gardner-Johnson and Isaiah Rodgers. Both of them talk about it. And CJ was like, look, man, just shout out to Isaiah Rodgers, man, for that play. And it was great. It was great footwork by CJ Gardner-Johnson. It was such a heads-up play by Isaiah Rodgers. It's ridiculous. But you guys are starting to see it. Y'all starting to see it and starting to witness it. Now, maybe I'm just not talking out of my ass when I say I want Isaiah Rodgers to start. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. But again, salute to Isaiah Rodgers taking advantage of every opportunity he get. And this is not no knock on Slay. Because again, Slay had a good game. He saved the touchdown. But I just think right now, Slay being a 33-year-old and what Isaiah Rodgers being 25, 26, and who has an extreme upside and who's on a 1-year deal, and you know Slay's probably going to be gone after this year, and you have more of an upside with Isaiah Rodgers, I would say you gotta pull the plug on Slay, and I'm sorry, you just might have to. But again, shout out to Isaiah Rodgers for doing this thing. But another guy I want to talk about is Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, I'm starting to see why they, just got rid of Devin White because Nakobe Dean is playing at a high level. His numbers were phenomenal. Nakobe Dean today had 9 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, a QB hit, and to me, a great fumble recovery. I mean, again, like I explained the Isaiah Rodgers and CJ Gardner Johnson thing. I liked how Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean worked together as far as the fumble and then getting the fumble recovery. I mean, Nakobe Dean is playing at a high level. He's playing at a high level, man. I got to call a spade a spade. Yeah, I get on him for missing tackles here and there because I don't like to see my linebackers missing tackles. But today he played well. Yesterday, I should say, he played really well. Really, really well. And I like his trajectory. He's getting better game by game. Of course, we criticize him here and there, but he's getting better game by game by game. I mean, this is not a game to sneeze on. It's not a game to look at like, well, it's just the Bengals. The Bengals had one of the hottest offense, and we held them to 17 points and only 7 points in the second half. We got 2 turnovers. We only had 2 turnovers all year. We got 2 turnovers this game. 2. This is no game to sneeze at. Nakobe Dean looking good against the Bengals. That would show like he could do this against any team. Any team. His PFF grade 90. 90 from Nakobe Dean. And he's starting to look. I mean, let it cook up. But he's starting to look like that guy we thought he was going to be. Nakobe Dean is starting to look like the guy we thought he was going to be. And again, just keep playing at a high level. You know Philly loves you, but when you play bad, we're going to be on you. We're going to be on you, man. So on Nakobe Dean, just keep balling out your mind. Just keep cooking, keep balling. And then another guy I've been critical of. I don't know why. It seemed like I'm just critical of the Bulldogs, and they all had a good day. To the Jordan Davis, to the Nolan Smith. I think Jalen Carter was fine today. Nakobe Dean. But let's talk about Nolan Smith. Is it time to say he's him? Is it time to say he's him? 3 straight games with a sack. That's pretty hard to do. That's hard to do, man. And Nolan Smith, he's coming along. All I ever wanted from Nolan Smith, and he's doing it right now. Enough of the bravo and all this and all that with the media. Just show it on the field. Just show it on the field, and that's what Nolan Smith been doing. Nolan Smith been laying it all out on the field. Pause. He's been looking good. He's been looking phenomenal. It sucks that he was in coverage with Jamar Chase, But other than that, you can't even really put that on him. That was just, it's just like, what are you doing with Fangio? But overall, Nolan Smith been looking great. Even when he drop in coverage, he look fine. It don't look unnatural. But when he's going to get the passer, that speed rush is starting to work for him. You could tell he's putting in the work in season as well. Because if you look at week one, actually, if you even look at preseason till now, remember there was preseason games he had to stay into the fourth quarter because he looked so bad. But if you look from there to now, Nolan Smith is playing at a high level. See, I'm a pretty fair guy. I will admit when I'm wrong about a guy or when a guy is improving. I don't just hate bash on a guy. So Nolan Smith, again, I gotta call a spade a spade. He's looking good. He's looking good. We hopefully he could keep this up. But that's all I got for you guys today. I really wanted to focus in on the defense. Trust me, I know what Jalen Hurts did in the second half. Literally perfect. Saquon Barkley, perfect. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, perfect. I know what the offense did, Grant Calcaterra, but I just wanted to focus in on some guys on the defensive side of the ball that look really good. Really, really good. Because the defense held us down. The offense, of course, that's what sells tickets. That's what looked good. But you got to step back and like, hold on, wait. The defense held that team to 17 points. 17 points. But that's all I got for you guys today. And hey, man, what do you think? And how do you feel about the news today? Look, the defense, that's all I can say. The defense played well. Just called out some key guys. And I didn't even talk about Quinyon Mitchell. And oh, man, Quinyon Mitchell look good. We'll talk about him in another video. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm out.